All right, many thanks for staying with us. Now it's time to delve into the conversation of today. Another batch of 306 Nigerians have been evacuated from Ukraine. They arrived at Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, around 12:30 a.m. on Sunday. Now, the arrival brings to 1,076 of those that have been evacuated since the exercise began on Friday. Now, the first batch had 415, the second had 180, and the third had 174. The latest evacuees arrived via Air Peace Boeing 777-300 flight APK 7534 from Budapest in Hungary. Now, joining us to make sense of this conversation, we have a public affairs analyst, Atiwaju Abayomi-Oke. Good morning and thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, with the latest developments from the federal government evacuating stranded Nigerians, some persons have said it's a move that came slow, that came a bit late, even though it's a move in the right direction, but it came a bit late. And also some Nigerians stuck in Ukraine saying that they'd rather stay and become refugees than come back to the hardship of Nigeria. So one would imagine, why would someone prefer, in the face of war, would rather stay in a war country than come back to the home where, of course, they say home is where the peace is, but then someone else is deciding, some persons are deciding to stay and face the war and come home. So what do you make of this?
All right, thank you. Let me start by saying that it's not too late.
Okay.
The step that the Nigerian government took, no one saw this war coming, and of course, one would also expect that probably it won't linger on till this moment. But the fact that federal government reached out to Nigerians who are over there in Ukraine, I think is something that we should, of course, applaud in the first place. Secondly, for the students for those that were supposed to, be evacuated, that said they would rather stay in Ukraine than come over, or rather stay in any part of Europe than come over to Nigeria, one cannot entirely blame them because it's not as if Nigeria is a safe haven, to say. It's not as if we are better off here, but at least one cannot compare a war zone to, a war zone for me, it still has some certain level of certainty. You know that, okay, war is going on here and the world is watching us. Everybody is seeing what is happening. Unlike Nigeria is not entirely a war zone, but you cannot expect what will befall you anytime. So that is why there is certain level of uncertainty in Nigeria when it comes to insecurity. So it's better. I do not blame these guys who decided not to come over to Nigeria. They chose to stay over there in Europe because they are not even sure of their own safety in this country. Because here we are, every day we hear news of number of insecurity happening here in this country. Even police brutality is not as if it's entirely nipped in the mud. Quite a lot of things are happening. Kidnapping is still taking place here in the country. And of course, for somebody who have been in Europe for a while, coming back to Nigeria, by the time some of these guys realize that they are back, they may also want to see them as a prey to prey on. They will believe that they have some dollars with them and they can be vulnerable. They can be subjected to kidnapping and all sorts of, inhumane actions by some unscrupulous elements that are existing in Nigeria. So I do not blame them. However, I would also want to say that if everyone leaves this country, if we decide to say that Nigeria is not good and we want to stay where it is fair to live in, I wonder who would then create the enabling environment that we want in this country. So if you have stayed in Europe for a while, if you have learned one or two things from the style of governance over there, if you have learned one or two things from the way they run their healthcare, educational sector and the likes, why not come back home and see how we can replicate some of these things in our own country as well? Because the truth is, whatever we call ourselves, we are still Nigerians. Wherever we are still Nigerians. And that's exactly what we're saying out now. The only country that cares for you now, even in the face of war, is still your home country, Nigeria. Okay. So that simply means there's nothing stopping you from giving back to your country, Nigeria. So anything that you have seen over there, any amenities you have enjoyed over there, the style of governance that you have seen that is working for them over there, come to Nigeria and let's see how we can replicate it, and let's make Nigeria a better place for ourselves as well.
Okay, let me take your viewpoint regards the federal government's monetary incentive to the evacuees. The report is that they will get $100, and that's 56,000 naira, approximately per person. For folks who have lost their source of income in terms of livelihood, even shelter among others, how much do you think of an impact now do you think 56,000 naira per person can go in terms of getting them resettled in the nation?
Okay, thank you. I think in all fairness, the federal government is being sincere, because it's not as if this was planned for ab initio. It's an exigency that needed to be taken care of. So regardless of the amount that is given to these people, and remember, the 56,000 naira, if converted to naira, is for their transportation to their homes, their various homes or respective home, as the case may be. It's not as if they are setting them up, to start a business or to enjoy a livelihood that they seem to be enjoying while over there. No, it's just for transportation. So $100 is what I feel federal government feels they can afford, and we should commend them for their sincerity in that regards. It's not as if this was initially budgeted for. It's not as if it was planned for. But of course, as it is, they just felt they needed to give these people a form of soft landing, so that when they arrive their home country, which is Nigeria, they can easily get to their various destination in their homes. I do not expect them to have forgotten their homes in the first place. Some of them have not spent up to 10 years in Ukraine or Europe, or wherever they have. So they will still know their way home, and that is just a token. Token, probably we should term it a widow's mind from federal government to those people. So don't let us see it as federal government is trying to set them up with the 6,000 naira or $100. No, it's just a form of a soft landing as a transportation allowance to get to their various destinations.
All right, now thank you for that clarity. Now I'm looking at the report we got. Approximately 8,000 Nigerians are in the Ukraine, and 5,600 approximately now out of this 8,000 are students. Now this 8,000, I'm sure we have professionals in the medical sector, in the tech sector, whatever. Now that's a part of the brain drain we're talking about in the professional sector in Nigeria. And now 5,600 out of this 8,000 are students. Now let's look at the educational system in Nigeria. 5,600 people went out of Nigeria to school outside Nigeria. What are the effects this has on the educational system, and how can this be nipped in the bud, just so we don't have those migrations into other countries, including the nearest Ghana here? So about the educational system, what do you think?
Thank you very much. And I will be very sincere here, because this really bothered me, and it's not just today, but most times I consider the fact that we are losing so many of our best brains to European countries under the guise of going there to study, and even after studying, some of them never want to return home. They prefer to stay there and work. I think this should pose a challenge to Nigerian government. You can imagine, as we speak now, ASU is on strike. No parent would want their child to go through the educational system that is currently obtainable in this country. They rather want their children to probably fly abroad and enjoy a better educational system. So this is a serious challenge to Nigerian government. Can we please fix our educational system? It's very key to every other developmental stride that we want to achieve in this country or in any nation. Important. Until we decided to, stop paying lip service to education in this country, this occurrence will keep lingering on. We'll continue to have our best brains traveling abroad, going to Europe to enjoy, the best of educational, facility that they can enjoy over there.